What's going on, everyone? Let me know if you can hear me okay. Oh, what's going on with everybody in that chat? Thank you for joining me, by the way. Oh, what's going on with everybody in that chat? All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's just go for it, shall we? I'm going to turn this thing off over here. And I'm going to turn this thing on over here. Oh, maybe not. Oh, there we go. And I'm going to click on the autofocus and do one of these. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to my channel. It's been a minute. I haven't done anything on this channel. I know. But this is me kind of making up for it. Plus, I got some stuff on my mind that I've been hearing some things out there, and I am fresh off of a bunch of trade shows, right? So, first of all, if you're new here, you might want to think about hitting subscribe. This is a channel where I go all about photo, lighting, do live demos, teach you guys how to do a bunch of stuff with lighting, shooting, go into things that are out there for gear, all sorts of have guests on here, all sorts of. If you're a photo, video, lighting nerd, go ahead, hit subscribe. Welcome everybody. What's going on? Brad, Melanie, David, James, Marcus, everybody. Yeah, it's an understatement to say I've been busy. Okay, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you know that I've been going literally from an airplane right to set, and I have I actually took a day after the NAB in Vegas to do this stream just because I had no voice. And apparently I don't know how to talk. I talk too much through my throat and not enough through my stomach or something. I don't know. I got to take voice lessons. Whatever, guys. All right. So listen, I've been hearing some things and I got some stuff to say about it. And someone sent me a video. And I just want to start this by saying I am by no means going to be trashing any other creators, anyone's channel. I'm not going to be naming anyone by name, but this does seem to be like some kind of common thread out there. Why do I always feel like I never get this camera right where I want it? Every time I'm like, that looks about right, but it never is. I'm not going to trash anybody. All right. What I do want to say is what is being said out there is absolutely bothering me, absolutely wrong, because it's lacking insight, which is probably part of the problem that those people are dealing with. And it's not just other channels, it's also in my comments. Let me know if I'm live. The chat looks like it's dead right now. Unless you guys are just listening, it's okay. But listen, I was sent a video, and it was basically someone on a channel that has a pretty good following out there, has obviously made a living on YouTube, and has obviously been a I don't want to say prolific, but has definitely been out there for a while doing videos on camera gear. And you know, YouTube is like the number one place people go to research things that they're going to go buy. And this person basically was saying the industry is over and they don't know what they're going to be doing, but they have to move on because they're not getting review units. Deep peer review is closing. All sorts of things are red flags everywhere. And it wasn't just that one channel. There was other channels dropping videos like this. My comments were lighting up with deep peer review is closing. It shows that camera phones are just destroying our industry and all that other stuff. Now, when we say industry, there's two things we're talking about. One is the actual product, right? Cameras, lenses, all that stuff. Are they producing? Are they selling? Whatever. And the other part of the second industry we're talking about is actually working professional photographers, videographers, lighting techs, whatever, set life, right? I'm going to tell you right now, when people ask me, is the industry over? Is the game over? And I'm going to tell you right now to your faces, 112%, actually 113%, because I like number 13 more and I don't trust even numbers. No, it's not over. It is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing, which is evolving, assimilating, changing, and innovating. I think it's crazy if you think that just because your channel isn't receiving products from a brand to do a review, that you think that somehow it's shrinking. No, it's changing, and it's going through a lot of things as far as production goes. Here's a list of reasons why those channels are probably losing ground. And one of the reasons is the sample units they talk about, or review copies they talk about, as we say, which are usually prototypes, beta, not alpha. Alpha means it's like kind of working, but it's not ready to be outside of the company itself. Beta meaning that it's kind of okay for prime time, but not for civilians, as we call it. When we get betas in our hand, there's only so many in the world. There's times where I do a video in a matter of hours with a brand representative there ready to take it from me and go to the next place to do a video, because there's only one in all of North America. There's plenty of times where I get prototype units that are 3D printed, not final, meaning the buttons aren't where they're going to be. There's font on there that's just generic placeholder fonts, grips that don't have any feel to them because they didn't even make the rubber texture for it yet, firmware that is never finished. And they give those to people that can handle review copies like that. And what is happening out there is a lot of channels are doing reviews on gear without taking into account or even able to understand what is the difference between an actual full point of the equipment and what is the property of something that might be a beta or prototype. And they're reviewing it wrong, and they're hurting the item and the brand. And not that the brand is looking for only favoritism or only someone to be nice and say the best things about their gear. What they're saying is you aren't qualified to even see what we did here. And a lot of the biggest YouTube channels actually are sometimes not even using the system right, meaning that they didn't have the autofocus set or tuned the way the brand has been developing their autofocus, or they weren't familiar with it and they're reporting things wrong. Or people that have massive channels that say, I'm selling this camera. Meanwhile, they're 3 firmware updates behind. Whatever they're having issues with sometimes is actually not only fixed, but way improved or added upon. And they're just not giving things in a real insightful light, okay? A lot of the things that happen are, it's an honor to be chosen to do reviews. And to be honest with you, when one of the channels that I'm talking about, and I'm not going to trash anybody, I'm not here to hurt any creators, but when one of the channels I have out there saying they haven't received review copies, meaning that they're scarce, meaning there's not enough marketing dollars or something like that, meaning that brands are dialing back on their marketing, that's very misguided. Absolutely misguided. They're just allocating it differently. Maybe your channel, that your whole channel has been, I walk around the park with this camera and all I do is tell you if it's good enough for a vacation or not. Maybe those days are over. Maybe I'm looking, and just to be fair, I looked at some of these channels and watched a few of the videos, and they missed points that are very now. For example, there was cameras that I did reviews on that I watched other people do reviews on from the channels that are saying that the industry is over with. And they missed things like, how does this camera handle live streaming? Can it do power through USB? Can it send video and power through USB-C? What kind of resolution can I get out through USB-C? What kind of HDMI port is it? Can it handle a certain resolution out of that HDMI? Does it do external recording? Is it all internal? Things like this are things that you are missing for today's market. This world is producing more than ever before. Okay? And that means that during the pandemic, people were searching to not only start channels, create content, but just set up something like this so they could go to their job with a Zoom call or a Teams call. They've been learning what frame rates are. They've been learning what resolutions are. They've been looking at the equipment and what it can handle and learning about it. Maybe enough to get that one camera and that one lens, but they are learning and coming into our fold a little bit. So to say it's shrinking, to say it's gone is so misguided to me. It drives me crazy. Someone in the chat, oh, sorry, I'm losing my voice again. Someone in the chat asked me, Seth, don't manufacturers stipulate NDA until it's ready for review. So there's times where there just isn't enough time. So there's times where you will get a quote unquote review copy with a few days till pre-order. We weren't in these pre-order days years ago. We weren't in these realms of, you basically bought it before you looked at it. This is why camera stores themselves, like brick and mortar stores, don't really have people waiting to the camera come out so they can try it and then go shoot it. usually people are going to pre-order, others are going to wait for a year for it, right? So we've seen that with like the higher end flagship cameras and stuff like that. So that's kind of where that's at. In your work, how are you using the ProPhoto A2? Does the A2 light with the same colors to A1 and B10? Yes, it matches all my ProPhoto lights, and I've been using the A2 like crazy. It's been replacing some of my speed lights that I never put on camera. So that's long story short. If you guys have any want to check out my ProPhoto A2 video, it's on Adorama TV. That being said, you guys have seen me on Adorama TV, right? We are swimming in new product being released left and right to a point where we have to kind of go, what can we cover? And how much resources and platform space do we have to cover? That's healthy. That's a healthy market. We're seeing twin body releases still. Look, Canon put out the R50 and the R8 at the same time. They're not holding back. They're trying to get it out there. To say this industry is going away because some channels aren't being allocated the resources from marketing departments is absolutely it's just wrong, man. It's just wrong. So I kind of got heated about it because I was raised in this industry and now I'm on this side of the industry more than ever before. And it just kind of bothers me when people think that just because their party might be over, that it's over for everybody. And that's just completely wrong. And there's plenty of times that brands are just not going to get enough review copies out there for every channel. And they have to pick which channels are really going to not only reach a good amount of people, but the right people. For example, this channel is pretty small. We're looking at, as of this stream, 12,000 subscribers is micro, tiny. Adorama TV is at 1.2 million, right? The channels that are questioning the industry right now might have 300,000, but they're 300,000 of people that might not be in the same place to go into a system completely. That might just be looking for that vacation camera or something. And maybe those days are just not there. Is the phone changing this industry? Absolutely. What is it changing? Mainly point and shoot, some vlogging. But if you're going to talk to me about the game's going away because my phone can do things just as good, honestly, it can't. It is not, it's still a smaller, you can't defy physics, okay? And the phones are incredible and can do amazing things, but the cameras are sharing directly to cloud now. Hello, Fujifilm shot into cloud right now. There's integrations in cameras wirelessly. I can't use a lot of things out there in set life with a phone as my camera. I mean, now I can use ProPhoto strobes with my phone, which is kind of nuts, but still, it's not going away, guys. It really isn't. And it's actually, the phone has brought more people into the era of creation than anything before. You know, back in the day, one family owned one camera. Now everybody's shooting in that family. Now everybody's looking to do things with the stuff they're creating. Maybe that makes them buy an iPad so they can edit that video. Maybe that gets them to buy some tripods, maybe filters, maybe stabilizers. But before, you had one camera for that one family, and that was about it. We're making creators more than we ever have before, is my argument. And then people start talking about AI. AI is going to start taking our jobs. AI is a tool like anything else. And if you don't innovate and assimilate, you're going to fall apart and you're not going to exist. And AI is something that can help you kind of get something tangible with what you're thinking about. The reality is that people are still going to want to have documented what's in front of their lens for real. These AI headshots might be the farthest it goes, where they just need something little for a LinkedIn page. But my industry, where I'm shooting someone's work, something that has to exist in real life. You know, when a makeup artist is looking for a portfolio because they're trying to get celebrity clients, those celebrity clients have to exist in real life with actual makeup on them. So yeah, I have to document what these people actually do, you know? The new RF 100 to 300 2.8 looks great. It does look great. $10,000. It's an upper echelon lens for sure. My buddy Roberto Valenzuela did the campaign for it. Beautiful stuff. Absolutely. Absolutely. That isn't a mass market lens, but this is also showing how much they're able to even go towards creating equipment for the masses that are niche, You know, I mean, not a very small percentage of the population are going to buy that lens, right? But it exists for those that want it. I mean, a 100 2.8, great for sports. Are you kidding me? Wildlife, stuff like that. It's not even that big of a lens. It's really beautiful. Do you guys have any questions for me? I feel like I've been rambling here, but it really kind of bothered me when I hear people say it's over. Urgh. It reminds me of when all the who was it? Like the older pros were like, "Oh, digital's killing us." And then they were going, "Oh, video is killing us." No, it's not. No, it's not. You need to learn video because that's the platforms we are now publishing to. And that's the other thing. There's not the days of gatekeeping are kind of over. When I was growing up, I had to chase editors and anyone I could to give me a shot at one of their magazines. Now, I can self-publish wherever I want. I can put this video out here whenever I want. Cliff is calling me. Cliff from Pro Photo. Cliff, you're live. I'm live right now, buddy.
You're live?
I'm live.
What?
I'm live ranting about how this industry isn't over.
It isn't over. You're right. It's not over.
That's from a legend right there, people. The legendary Cliff Hauser of Pro Photo.
I just came from these women that do they photograph maternity stuff.
Yeah.
There was 40 people there, and every single one of them was making money, making a living, doing what they do, and they were all amazing people. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean,
very enthusiastic.
Remember when they said trade shows are dead, and then what were the last trade shows we were at? How crazy were they?
7,000 to 8,000 people at one of them for sure. The other one was maybe 4,000 or 5,000 people. It was crazy. It was amazing.
And they were like engaged, like all in.
Absolutely. Completely different story than you would think 3 years ago. Oh, this thing's going away. This business is in trouble. I think the opposite now. It was really amazing. Today really put me over the top.
Oh, that's great, man. Did you need something from me, or do we got to talk offline?
No, I was just calling about the little video you sent me of the beauty dish.
Okay, yeah. I'll call you when I'm off of this. All right.
All right, guys. Everybody, take care. Thank you.
Later, buddy. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So that's the other thing is like, I just got back from the first trade show of the year was Imaging USA in Nashville, and it was mobbed and hectic and amazing. Then I go into WPPI. It was mobbed more than I've ever seen any WPPI in my career. And then I went to Shutterfest, and those people are just crazy shooting 24/7, going nuts. And and then NAB, National North American Broadcasting Show, was unbelievable, guys. I mean, talking to all the brands, I'm talking about these brands were throwing me into padlocked rooms to show me and talk to me about what's to come and ask me what I think about things, because that's how much their ear is to the ground now. And I think I'm in a very unique position being part of Adorama, where I talk to you guys, consumers and professionals, and see what the market is and what pros want and what I also want after 25 years of shooting. Thanks, Brad. I'm using this mic because there is a ton of noise outside my place right now. Brooklyn is like all sorts of construction because it's like almost summertime, so all the construction is going nuts. It's unbelievable what is to come, what technology we have at our fingertips, how much more confident I feel in investing into systems because the technology is so far in that I feel like I can hold it down with the gear I'm into now instead of worrying about constantly upgrading because I'm trying to get somewhere with it. But no, the gear is where I want it, man. It's unbelievable. The market is too saturated, bro. Maybe niche. I'm listening, though. It's not too saturated. You need to find what you do. The reason people are going to hire you for what you want to do is because of the way you do it. You hear what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying, Occupy Black Media? You need to find your people, your audience, what you're doing, and what speaks to them. Yeah, we can all shoot a headshot. Absolutely. But they want to get it from you. They want you to shoot with your point of view. They want to get your style. They don't want someone that's chasing a trend. They want someone who's creating a trend. If you're shooting fashion, that's 100% that. Are you kidding me? Listen, one of the things and I get a lot of flack for when I shoot special effects, all the bleeding zombies and aliens and stuff. Part of the reason I love that I get to shoot that stuff is because I'm not just another guy shooting a pretty girl in some random dress and some makeup in some random room for no reason. I love the fact that my stuff is completely turning a right corner and people remember me from that, you know? So it's really interesting when people go, man, there's just too many. I don't know. Is there, or are you just not differentiating enough? And this is coming from a guy who absolutely feels like my teeth are kicked in. Listen, not to be like too transparent with you guys, but every day you can ask any of my peers and colleagues, I'm like, man, there's channels that are just destroying them more than I'll ever know. There's people that are just popular that don't know what they're talking about, but they're getting way, way more of an audience, way, way more ears from the brands, you know, jobs that I probably could have gotten had I just pushed myself on my personal media. Every day I feel like my ribs are kicked in. Every day I see someone copying something I did years ago and pretending like it's something new to sell to people who don't know any better. And it drives me nuts. But I don't think it's over. I can't think it's over. I can't believe that it's over. And I can't believe that people think that the camera industry, like this, the what do you call it, like the product side of it is over. You know, come on. You know, it's just kind of crazy to me. It's unbelievable what you can do in the palm of your hands right now and how fast you can deliver to client, how many more, what variation of work you can deliver to client. In one session, I can shoot stills in 3 styles, give them GIF animations for some sort of social. I can give them vertical video for whatever social they want. I give them horizontal video clips for whatever, a lead-in trailer for their YouTube channel, or whatever the brand is doing. I can deliver to them, and I can charge them for it. And I can also get called back because they had another idea and they think I can handle it. You guys are just killing me when it comes down to this doom and gloom, and I am the first doom and gloomer. I swear, I wish I had somebody here. Actually, I could call Dan, and he'll tell you how much I'm like an Eeyore about things. But I mean, you just heard from Cliff Hausner. Cliff Hausner is an absolute like demigod in this industry, and he's just amped, man, amped. You know, it's human nature to panic. Bed Bath Beyond just now chapter 11, and now retail is dead instead of maybe BBB made bad. Oh, Bed Bath Beyond made bad mistakes. Well, think about it this way. Maybe the case in point, Adorama wants to create more experiences again because it understands that retail stores are about experience more than just having the product there, because you're going to order it online. You're going to pre-order it day one. You don't have to step foot in anywhere. It's going to get to you if you want it, right? So now it's all about experiences. That's what's been happening. You know, it's not just a showroom anymore. You know, it just doesn't have to be. And Bed Bath & Beyond is fighting against Amazon, right? If you're going to buy those towels, you're probably going to get them on Amazon. Do you need to go shop for towels? Do you need to go like this? Oh, maybe this is the towel for me. Oh, yes, maybe. Also, mismanagement much. Didn't one of the Bed Bath & Beyond guys like jump out of a window here in New York? Get out of here with this, you know? It's really disheartening for someone to get on their channel and try to convince people who don't know any better that this industry is done, all because their channel didn't get an advanced copy on a camera so they can talk about, oh, this camera, oh, it feels nice and light in my hands, would probably be good for that Barbados trip. That's not what we're doing anymore, kids. That is not what we're doing anymore. I need to know what style of work I can do with this camera, what headspace it puts me in, how fast I can work, what does it actually give me as a file? Can I do more than just take a still with it? How long is that battery going to last me? What options do I have with this camera? Where can I take this that might be inconspicuous so that I get more candid shots than participatory shots? Or maybe, I don't know, how does it work with studio strobes? Can I tether with this? I don't know if I can, but it's the X100V, one of the hottest cameras on earth, but I want to tether with it. Can I? Tell me. Well, you're not telling me that? Then maybe your channel might be what is, I don't know, over. Okay, it really bothered me when I heard that. And another reason I did this live stream was because when DP Review was like, we're going out, I got a bunch of comments saying, see, the party's over because DP Review, a 25-year blog, is over. Okay, Petapixel, F-Stoppers, Fred Miranda, all this junk is still around. All of it. One blog goes down, you think camera phones have destroyed our industry? Or maybe, I don't know, what's that word? Oh, mismanaged? Maybe something happened there that Amazon made this call. You ever think about that? You know, people are just looking for an excuse to be like, I'm not excelling, so it must be everything else. And they're going, it's this, it's my camera phone. It's this, it's not me, it's this. I just remember every older photographer telling me how there's no work. And I'm like, you're not offering anything for today's world. You're not offering video. Why not? The world wants video. The world can handle video. I can text someone a video now. You're going to tell me you're not offering video? Your fault. How many older photographers tell me, man, I wish they would just make a camera with no video features in it. And then you've got to go, hey, come here. Come here. Hey, I got to tell you something. Hold on. You ready? Hold on. You ready for this? Here's why you have video and cameras, because they're mirrorless now. And even when you're shooting stills, guess what? You're shooting video. And even though you want to say that the features aren't in there, they're in there, and you're paying for the processing anyway. You're paying for the EVF. You're paying for the ability to do video. So, and then you know what's going to happen if you don't offer video features inside a camera that's basically doing video? You'll get told that your brand is going out of business. Yeah, that's what goes on. But you know better. But you know better, because all these people that are working at these brands, these thousands of people worldwide that are doing 2-3 years of R&D to build something, to bring it to market, just never thought about any of this. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? All these geniuses in those comments of those blogs need to take a breath. Really need to take a breath. You know? It's unbelievable to me. It really is. You know, and then what you're going to get is the one time those guys need to do video for something for themselves, they're going to complain that their camera doesn't do video. And it's like, you're not going to save any money. You're not going to save any money by them taking it out. All right. This is just, am I out of my mind? Tell me if I'm out of my mind right now. I don't know. I woke up in a rant mood. I got my vocal cords back from NAB. I've just been out of my mind lately. And also, I'm just wondering if anybody in this chat is from any of my classes from Imaging, WPI, or Shutterfest. And if you are from Shutterfest, I just want to say thank you guys so much for the outstanding reviews you've left on the Facebook group and stuff. It's been overwhelming, and I can't thank you guys enough. I had no idea how those classes went, so it sounded like I didn't know if I was doing all right. It's kind of crazy when you live this kind of life where we're constantly creating for you guys, and then we constantly 24/7 I'm getting feedback. I check my phone, there's somebody telling me something I did wrong or they would have done differently, and then I got to put them into their place with, here's why that didn't happen that way. You know, I really want you guys to start looking at what you think isn't working and what you might not be doing. You think AI is taking over? Well, maybe use AI to kind of come up with the next shot, because you're just typing in random things and maybe something hits and gets those gears turning, and then you apply it in real life. Or, you know, maybe you use it to write the script on your website so you're not wasting time writing your own bio. Maybe you don't have to eat up time doing just dumb stuff that you think is helping your business when it's just like mandatory, you know? It's just, you know, get this thing. Hey, what's up, Ron? It's just it's not over, not by a long shot. And honestly, after being at all the shows recently and talking to the brands behind very, very, very closed doors, I am very excited for what's to come. I got to tell you, it is just nuts what's hitting us. Keep in mind, we're in the age of firmware. Stuff that's already in your hands just gets better because the brands are just giving you firmware to rewrite the inside of it. It's unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable. You know, it's just kind of nuts, man. The sad part is people listen to respond, not to understand more often. That's very true. The response is critical to make themselves feel better. Absolutely. A lot of the stuff that happens, first of all, is from an anonymous avatar. They don't even tell you who they are. They, you know, okay, what I'm about to say is going to sound real kind of mean, but here's, man, how can I put this? Okay, so remember the, thanks, Kathy, I appreciate that. You know, remember when I told you about the first video that got sent to me that the guy was like, the industry is over because I'm not getting review samples anymore. Maybe your insights aren't as heavy in weight anymore because you haven't done anything. Here's what I mean by that. People can review cameras and show you the same video over and over again. They're walking around the same forest every single time, showing you the same nothing shots to give you examples. Yeah, right? Or it can come from somebody who's been doing actual projects out there, that has been working and is looking for something to be doing, that is looking for, something to be using with certain feature sets, right? Maybe you see actual bodies of work out there that exist, not just, I'm a camera guy that has experience pressing buttons. Those days are over. You probably had a 10-year-long channel and you didn't even change one bit. You're the problem. If you really think things are going to stay the same because you're just a camera enthusiast, maybe you need to really look at yourself a little bit. The Free Blazer is interesting, Brad. It's really lightweight. There are other tripods that have just one lever for deployment instead of 3 levers, so take that into account. But I think the strong point of the Free Blazer tripod is if you're using the RS2 or RS3 stabilizer, you can take it off that stabilizer right into that tripod with no adapter. It's pretty rad. You have to rebrand and change with the times. I agree. Yeah. And the times that you change into, you might not be into it. There's a lot of things that are happening that I don't want to be part of, guys. I do not want to do TikTok videos. I really don't. I don't. I stick to my Instagram stories. I mess around on social, but I don't live my life for social. I work really hard to get the brands to trust my abilities. So when they give me their gear, I really put it in the right testing point to show if it can handle what it really needs to handle. It's really what it is. Anybody can read the specs and show me basic sample photos. I'd rather watch a real pro that can show me something original and that shows me what it can actually do. Sometimes it's not even something original. Sometimes it's just like the stupidest little things that are workflow. Okay. One of the dumbest things that I think is interesting about the Z9 is that you can hear the shutter through headphones. And let's say you're in a really quiet environment and you're someone that really needs that audible confirmation. You can just wear headphones and only you hear your shutter getting hit. Stupid things like that can change someone's complete outlook on how they handle a camera. There's been cameras people hand me that have been touted and amazed with unbelievable awards and accolades you wouldn't believe. But there's just something about the workflow of it that doesn't jive with the way I work. And I can relay that, hey, if you're this type of photographer that works the way I work, maybe this might not be the way to do it, Well, my Z9 is all the way down in volume, but because the speaker is right under the EVF, only I hear it, so it's pretty rad. Just something as stupid as the placement of the custom buttons is something that, is it intuitive while I'm working? Can I not have to search for something? Is it something I would program? Is there a problem? Do I hit it by accident? Stupid things like that. Something I've always had a problem with the Canon system is that the on switch is on the other side of the camera. I want to be able to operate my camera from one hand. Fuji, Sony, Nikon all have the on switch around the shutter. So if I'm holding a strobe or something, I can turn my camera on and off as I need. If I'm holding a reflector, I can do everything on and off as I need. That's a small quality of life to me. And someone else out there might go, you know what? That's a point for me as well. Stupid things like that. Hey, Matt. Matt, were you in here the whole time? I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't know you were in here. If you guys don't know Matt Irwin, he's got a great channel. He has his last 85 millimeter 1.2 videos, the Nikon, is one of the best, I think. Go check it out if you want to see what the focus breathing is like, which is 0. There is no focus breathing on that lens, and I love it. I love it. I love it. And it also shows the stabilization on that camera, which is unbelievable. The Z9 stabilization over the firmware has become incredible, in my opinion. First time on here ever. You're the man. I've watched you a lot. I'm recording yourself. Others, thank you. No, thank you for watching. Are you kidding me? And that's the other thing. And I think as the audience, you guys need to know this. Without you, this doesn't exist. So on my side of things, I look at it as a partnership. I cannot put out videos that no one watches. I cannot expect anything to happen if it doesn't get anywhere. So if you find what I'm saying insightful, it's a slow growth. I don't have the power of bigger channels. I don't. I don't have that built-in million subscriber platform. I'm not selling presets or posing guides or whatever they're trying to get you on, which is fine. Everyone can make their money, do it however they want. That's up to them. I'm not trying to hate on them, but they're always a brand in people's world. I'm not. I'm just a guy shooting that gets a chance to review gear. It's super fun. I absolutely love the fact that I get to touch brand new stuff I've never touched before, get to go do a project, and then relay it to you guys as best I can. And I think we do a pretty good job at that. I feel like we're very honest without trashing. And that's the other thing is if you're trashing brands without, really there's something to trash on them, you're hurting yourself. And that's probably another reason why brands are like, no. There's a lot of times reviewers are just honestly setting the cameras wrong, are not using them the way they were intended and calling them a failure. There are videos that are put out the same day as videos I've done where I'm like, yeah, of course that's a problem. That firmware isn't finished. But that's the difference between someone that actually understands what's in their hands and just someone that happens to have a YouTube channel. I'm like dry, I'm like super dried out. Oh man. Hey Patty, I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're well. How are those pups doing? And by the way, people like Patty Mattis in this chat, super proud of. I remember when Patty was first coming into this chat room years ago, and now she's doing incredible shots of pets and helping them get adopted and find homes. That's the stuff that I'm psyched on. It's just Carnage Moist. Yeah, I'll tell you, I have ripped my voice apart after every show. If anybody remembers my last class at Shutterfest, I felt like I was talking through a ball of fire. I could not get through it. I thought I was dying. It was awful. So I gotta take some voice classes, I guess. Does anybody have any questions for me about anything? I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself at this point, but I haven't done much on this channel, and for those of you who are hitting like on this video, I really appreciate it. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you can be part of this community. And also, don't forget to join the Discord. There's a Discord community where you guys can share work, give each other a constructive criticism so that you can get better with each other, troubleshoot what's happening with the gear, stuff like that. This is the Discord link. Can you repeat what you said about the A2? The ProPhoto A2 is slowly replacing a few of my A10s and A1Xs because I don't need the shoe. I need an off-camera flash, and they're small, light, tiny bit more power. But the real thing about the A2 that I like is that it really, really matches the rest of my studio strobes. It has not shifted color on me in any way, has not misfired, and they fire at the exposure I set them to. It's not inconsistent, and I absolutely love it. Lemon juice to water? Really? I feel like that would like rot my teeth out. Maybe I'm just crazy. Yeah, of course, Patty. Listen, this is a community. I don't look at this as an audience. I look at this as a community. And that's really how it should be. I don't believe in photo rumors. And that's the other thing. There's plenty of channels out there that live off of rumors, and they almost love it when they're negative. And there's a channel I really want to name that I can't stand, but it's every time they pop up, it's like they're grinning that there's something negative to talk about, and they have it wrong most of the time. They have it on a rumor, so they're spreading misinformation, and it's hurting everyone, including you, the consumer, because if people take something off the table as an option because of misinformation, then it might not be considered a success by a brand, and therefore they walk away from it and might not support it anymore. So those of you who did buy it, maybe they stop making parts for it one day, or maybe they stop doing firmware updates for it one day. And you can thank these negative rumor guys that love hurting our industry. What do you think we'll see the Fuji GFX sports camera? That's interesting. I think the GFX will absolutely get faster. It can only get faster. It's still a lot of glass to move in those lenses. I don't know if it's going to... I'm not going to say you can't shoot sports with it. You absolutely can shoot sports with GFX. I just don't think it's going to be a go-to, and I don't think what we have now in full frame is taking away anything that isn't. I'm sorry. I don't think there's anything we have currently in full frame that we aren't getting amazing stuff out of, right? So Canon R3, Z9, Alpha 1, I think we have amazing, sports cameras out there, Man, I'm sorry, guys. It is not up north. It's somebody else. I'm not going to name names, but it isn't north. It isn't Poland. It's neither of those guys. They don't even have the glass for the ecosystem. So that's the thing. The GFX line can only grow more in glass. And I will say the vibe I get from Fujifilm is that the GFX system is being primed up to be an addition to the cinema market. It is the largest real estate sensor with autofocus that can handle the video resolution that they want to put out there. It's actually really beautiful for cinema, and the glass is there for it. I think, not to mention Fujinon lenses, from the cinema side on that camera. I mean, unbelievable. So I think we're going to see the GFX actually get pushed into this gray area, or B cam or crash cam for cinema. The colors out of it, I really think that's what's going to happen. All right. Have you missed the mechanical shutter on the Z9? No, and I'll tell you why. Because I have yet to see anything on that Z9 look like it has been warped. And I can't say that about a lot of electronic shutters out there. There are a lot of cameras out there with amazing specs that have slow rolling shutter issues that are absolutely warpy. The Z9, I have not seen even a hint of it, and it's been amazing. And it makes me more confident that if I ever had to flip that camera, I could sell it for a decent amount of money, because there's no more mechanical shutter count on it to explode. No matter what brand camera you have, a mechanical shutter is a moving actuation. It will fail at some point. Maybe it's 2 million shots, maybe it's 5 million shots, but it will at some point fail. That's just what mechanics are. So I just like the fact that that's a peace of mind for me. The XH2S video, the video out of the XH2S is really beautiful. It really is. They're doing a great thing over there. Does it feel different without a mechanical shutter? No. Honestly, it doesn't. I haven't even thought about it. How's that? High speed sync, all of it. I haven't even thought about it. If anything, I don't even feel the camera kick, which gives me more confidence at slower shutter speeds when I used to worry about slap. Or things like focus stacking. If you did focus stacking with a mirror slapping every shot, you kind of ran into some issues. So that's why the mirror up setting on some cameras existed. But sometimes you forget about that, No vibration rocks is right, Matt. You'd have to explain the blood stains on the camera if you sold it, though. I could wash off the blood on that camera. If you don't know my camera, it's got blood on it. Any other questions, guys? If there's anything I can help you out with. If you do want to see anything, there is a playlist on this channel called My Videos on Other Channels. It is all the new product videos, XH2, XH2S, the ProPhoto 8.2, some Nikon lenses, all the stuff that I've shot brand new. You could see on that playlist for sure. One of my favorites is the Fuji 50mm f1 video. One of my favorite videos I've done. Have you tried the Westcott FJ80, 200, and 400 any pinion? I actually did the video for all of those on Adorama TV. You can actually see my video on there if you want. It's a system, right? It's a name like Westcott, which seems to be providing pretty good support for the system. The two things I'll say about it are, I think they could do some things with the menus on the light. I like, for example, you have to get to the third menu just to get to the modeling light options, which kind of, it's like, wait, what? I have to like click through it to get to a modeling light option, but that's only if you need it from the light, not from the remote. The remote is universal, which is really cool. If you're a guy like me that has multiple systems, I'm shooting Nikon and Fujifilm mostly. Switching between them with one remote is pretty cool. The TTL seems a little bit slow, meaning you get a couple more milliseconds between the pre-flash and the flash, so just keep that in mind. So you're kind of like shooting a little earlier if you're trying to do something with action for TTL, which you shouldn't be doing anyway. You should be doing that on manual, but that's a whole nother discussion. But they have a whole community and they have really good people at Westcott in support. So there's that. I will say that they might be a little bit slower than other brands to be on the compatibility for brand new cameras, but that's only if you're getting a brand new day one camera, and not many people are doing that. But they have been on it. They've been updating firmware constantly, so I got to give them credit for that. And they do have a lot of good support, and they have really good modifiers. I like their modifiers. I think they do some good stuff. Any rumors of RF mount opening to third parties? No, no rumors. I should say no mention, no nothing from Canon. They themselves have no what do you call it, official statement on it or something like that. So I can't really. I've asked them like behind closed door, like handshake, friend DA type stuff. It doesn't. They're not talking about it. So I couldn't talk to that. There are RF mount lenses out there. They are manual focus. I would stay away from anything autofocus for right now because it seems like Canon is updating firmware to kind of handicap the autofocus on third-party lenses somehow when they do that. So just be wary of that. And not for nothing, the Canon glass is stunning. I know it's expensive, but it's an investment. And sometimes if you're going to have that lens for years for the look of every shot, might be worth it to look at the Canon option. Be honest with yourself, okay? All right. I want to see more videos on OM systems. The brand feels so slept on. Not for nothing, the brand's kind of sleeping on themselves a little bit, right? They put out a camera with a different sticker on it and called it a new camera. They're in a weird stasis right now. They have to kind of get their identity and figure out where they want to go. The OM1 is a nice little camera, but some people just don't want to go into Micro Four Thirds, and I understand that. The glass, I like the glass on OM systems. It's built super tough. The cameras themselves, so they've got to get a little. We'll see something from them. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Gavin loves his. Gavin will always be down with I almost said Olympus. See, people don't even know what to call it anymore. Hey, what's up, Anthony? I saw Anthony over at I think every trade show, man, except for Shutterfest. I saw you at what did I see you at? WPPI for sure, Imaging, and NAB. So anything in Vegas and Nashville, I saw you at. But you're in Vegas, aren't you? If you guys want, check out Anthony's YouTube channel. He took on the Black Beauty dish, so go check that out. I got to give him props for that. Yeah. So check out Anthony's YouTube channel if you guys want to. He's got some good insights on lighting and stuff like that. So check him out. Any other questions, guys? I don't even know how long I've been streaming for. 45 minutes. My struggle is OM system versus OM systems. Yeah, well, how about this? I had OM system give me 3 different business cards, and one of them said OM solutions, one said Olympus, and one said OM system. So I'm like, you guys don't even know what So it doesn't make them bad cameras. It doesn't make them inferior. It's just a different system, and some people love it. I mean, the size of the glass is so tiny for what you're getting. A lot of travel photographers really enjoy the OM system. They're actually doing some pretty good video. They have some pretty cool features in there. The live comp, if you're into shutter drag techniques, a lot of fun to use that. See what I'm saying? Like, not everything has to be like, oh, it's Micro Four Thirds, so it's garbage, like some channels automatically say. Sometimes it can be like, well, what's the advantage of Micro Four Thirds? Smaller lenses and less data for the camera to process, so it can do faster frames per second, more calculations in body. Things like nighttime photography have a lot of feature set inside those cameras. Maybe that's the way you look at things instead of it's garbage because it's this. It's almost like this is gonna sound so bad, but it's almost like a camera racism. It's very strange to me. Instead of looking at what it is and what the advantage of something like that might be, it's almost like, oh, I'm already discrediting it because of what it is. It can't help what it was born as. It can't help. Did you see my questions? I'd like your thoughts on keeping Bluetooth stable. What do you mean, Melanie, as far as Bluetooth stable? Just ask me the question again, Melanie. I'm sorry I missed it. Where do you get the best small flash training? You need to put together a course for sale. I just do live streams, homie. I don't have it in me to create courses, to create an infrastructure to sell anything. I'm just not that guy. I don't know how to do any of that. I really don't. I just shoot, and I can talk while I shoot. So check out some of my live streams on Small Flash. Check out. I do have live streams on portraits with small strobe, speed light, stuff like that. So my Canon Bluetooth keeps cutting out. Any way to prevent that? So it depends on. What are you trying to Bluetooth connect to your Canon? Your phone? A lot of it has to do with the space you're in. Bluetooth can get heavily interference. Check if the Wi-Fi is on in your camera as well. Sometimes Wi-Fi can inhibit Bluetooth. Also, sometimes, it's distance. It's tough. It's tough because it's not just up to the Bluetooth in the camera. It's up to the Bluetooth in this and how well it talks to it. For example, Pro Photo has Bluetooth and all their stuff. They worked with Apple to make the Bluetooth super tight, and it is ridiculously tight. It's amazing how well it works with Pro Photo and my iPhone. Unbelievable. I'm updating firmware like crazy. I'm controlling my lights with my phone. It's nuts. So yeah, Wi-Fi at the same time as Bluetooth can sometimes inhibit signal. So try to turn off the Wi-Fi on either your phone or the camera. Sometimes that helps in some cameras. I'm not promising anything here though. And if anything else, Canon is very easy to reach. If you're part of CPS, maybe drop them an email and see if they can give you an answer. They can give you like best practices or something. Or if you get a chance to go to a trade show, just taking it right to them is the best. Yeah, updating your Pro Photo lights over your phone is just unbelievable. It sounded stupid when I first heard it. I was like, come on, Pro Photo. Like, I love you, Pro Photo, but like, I'm not even going to buy into this. And then I tried it and I was like, damn it. Why is it good? Why is it so good? Just bothers me, Any other questions, guys? I'll try to answer anything I can within reason. I got a special thing to show you guys. I'm really proud of this. You ready? It's my Apple Slice box. Look at this little tiny thing. It's made by Film Tools. Look at how tiny it is. I love it. I love my film. Hopefully I can get a Matthews Pocket C stand to go with this, and I'll start my micro kit. So happy. I love stupid things like this. I don't know why. So like my Fuji film, right? Roll of film that happens to be a flash drive. I love it. I love stupid stuff like this. I love it. I love the stupidness. All right. So yeah, I feel like I needed to come on here and talk about this because it not only is it selfish for a channel to pretend like the industry is falling apart because their channel is failing, but it hurts all of us because then people start questioning if they should participate in this industry, and then you have a problem. That is very irresponsible to anyone with a mass audience like that. I'm sorry, but you're affecting a lot of people in an entire industry because you are misguidingly, selfishly thinking it's over for everybody. So I had to just say that. Do you ever use your phone for photography? I have my phone on me every day and I shoot pictures with it every day, but I've never been like, this is going to be a piece I shoot. Not really. I have so much gear that I want to use that, and I see my images through the gear I own. Does that make sense? So like, I know that's an X100V shot. I know that's a 105 macro lens shot that I want to do. I know that is just going to be something I shoot on the GFX with the 110 f2 lens. I know that's what, so that's how I shoot. The gear is the last thing I pick up when I'm doing a purposeful shot. Can you give your consent to Matt in the field in Melbourne to see if he has a Z8? Oh gosh. The Z8, you guys are like crack fiends for this Z8. It's like a drug addiction to you guys. So I haven't done Rewind in a few weeks because I've been on the road. I've been on, and Adorama's been on holiday. So I'm going to get back on Rewind, I promise. It's just, I can't tell you how hectic it's been. It's nuts. Yeah, the GFX 110 f2 is stunning. That's what I shot the picture of Marissa with. Let me see if I can find it. The black and white picture I shot of Marissa. where I lit her scar and everything, which I don't know isn't for everybody, but I love that shot. So I don't care if it's for everybody. It's for me. Let me see. Yeah. So this shot, I don't know if it's gonna even show. This was the 100 f2. You're not gonna really see it render so well, but if you can, it's on my Instagram. You guys can check it out. I'm Last X Witness on all social, so there's that. Yeah. Also, just to give you guys an example of not everybody knowing what they're talking about, when Nikon put out the Z series, the original Z6, everyone said Nikon's going out of business. What was that, 5, 6 years ago already? Oh, that Z6, by the way, you're watching me on it right now. You've been watching all my videos filmed with the original Z6 for years. This is from the first run of Z series. This has been going for years. And somehow it's an unusable camera because it had one card slot. Funny, huh? Oh, Nikon can't do video. That's what I heard. That's all I kept hearing. Funny, huh? So don't take things as gospel just because people tend to play with a bunch of gear. Just because they get their hands on it doesn't mean they have their head for it. Just saying. Yeah, I'm saying it was Marissa that made that shot, not Fuji or Seth. Fair. Okay. Nikon does video really well, actually. Yeah. I mean, every camera brand does video really well. I think Lumix has a real dial in on it. They give you shutter angle. They give you the tools you want. I think they've always been really, really great on video. And now they're kind of going, okay, now we have phase detect autofocus. Let's get some stills photographers in our world a little bit here. So I'm very excited to see where Lumix goes, to be honest with you. I really am. And I just shot the new Sigma lenses on the S5 Mark II, the 17mm f4, and the 50mm 1.4, I think it is. I can't remember. So many numbers, man. Speaking of Nikon, what's your thoughts on their marketing approach? The number one problem with Nikon is their marketing. The number one problem, hands down, forever with Nikon is their marketing. Always. The focus breathing on my EF lenses on RF system drives me mad. Well, EF lenses weren't really meant for video, despite the fact that there's EF mount in so much of their cinema line. Kind of funny, right? But the RF lenses are stunning. No focus breathing is a big deal. If you're someone that's investing into lenses, you need to know it will do stills and video. You need to know that it won't freak out on you while you're trying to film that video that you need for that client on the fly. You need to know that if you're doing focus stacking, because you have to shoot a series of watches for a client, that you know it'll actually stitch together properly. It's crazy to me that we've only started talking about focus breathing in this industry, but it's mainly because stills photographers never really paid much mind to it. Now we all have to shoot video, and we're looking at the edges of our frames freaking out, and also the noise of the lens. Don't forget, if you hear the lens, it's rough, man. It's rough. Seth, you talk to vendors a lot. What do they make of all the what? All the what, Deborah? I'm missing half that sentence. At Shutterfest, I spoke with a number of people that took your class, and they all enjoyed the class, but also your passion you brought discussing the industry and how we all fit into it, keep the fight. Nah, I appreciate that. And it's not everybody belongs in here because it's a creative industry. This is a science and a feel. It's a science and it's an art. And you guys make of it what you will. The work you create may not be for everybody. It might be the work you want to create, and it might be hard for you to find your audience or your clientele. But it will be the work you want to put out there, and it's up to you to really build that base for yourself. It just might not be that easy because of what you're shooting. And trust me, there's things I shoot that I'm like, I don't want to shoot this, man. I don't want to shoot a bunch of dentists or accountants or whatever, but I got to pay the rent on my studio. I'll do it. It's not soul fulfilling work, or what did Joe call it? Soul feeding work? I forgot what he said, but part of the thing you have to get into as a photographer is the fact that you get to be a photographer, the fact that you get to shoot for a living. Even if it's not something you want to shoot, you have to get into the idea of, yeah, but you know what I'm not doing? Data entry. I'm not flipping burgers. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I'm not, I get to shoot. I get to, for a second, be creative. I get to be part of people's world by documenting something that's part of their life. I get to be there and create a portrait for someone to make them immortal. I get to have my something I shot and created shared out there for everybody. I get to really show people what's inside my skull and physically show them, you know? Well, not for nothing, Brad. I'm watching a tow truck show on A&E, and it's unbelievable what you guys do. So, and my father drove a tow truck here in Brooklyn long before I was born. So, shout out to tow truck drivers, you know? Yeah. All right. Is there any other questions, guys? And listen, you know, every year I ask myself if I want to do the trade shows. I'm like, man, I don't think I got it in me. I don't want to do it. I'm lugging a ton of gear. I just don't want to shoot it. I don't want to get out there. Rah, 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 rah. And you know, I'm around all these speakers, which are just marketers, right? They're just people that know how to talk, know how to sell something to a crowd. A lot of them, right? And they're educators and stuff, and some of them have amazing careers, absolutely. But for the most part, they're not my breed, right? I'm like the blue collar photographer kind of guy. You know, I just want to get on set. And it is rough for me when I do these trade shows until that first minute I get to talk to a class. And then I start going, oh, I get to show them this. I can do this. We're going to do this together. And I start getting like this weird pseudo momentum in my brain, and I get really hyped up. And then I hopefully project that, you know? And I feel like it's my one time where no one can stop me. No one can shut me down. I got them. And I can tell them exactly what I think, hopefully get them some insight that helped me get me somewhere. Not that I'm anything. I am a nobody in this game. I really am. I'm not, you know, when I go around, I'm not anybody. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not an influencer. You know, I go into chat rooms. Nobody's like, oh my God, shit. No, nothing. I'm not constantly posting on every platform. I'm just the guy that gets to shoot cool stuff. And I have the trust of the brands, and I have the trust of my peers, and that means more to me. Like, street cred has always meant the most to me. You know, I want to be able to go up to people I absolutely respect and know they have a minute for me. When the currency becomes the minutes of someone's credible, their time, it's hard to quantify what that sounds like, what that feels like. It's hard to relay why that's of such value. And I think because when I was younger, that's what I was clamoring for. I wanted to get on those sets and assist those people and be around those people and shoot the way those guys are shooting and be able to work the way they were working and shoot faster, more styles, more looks, nail something, less guessing, more getting it, you know? And that's really what I killed myself for so many years. And, you know, you can only chase so many rabbits, right? And I chased a rabbit that's not notoriety. I chased a rabbit that I know with these hands I could just grab something and create something worthwhile that I could put out there in this world. It's a really amazing feeling, not to have an ego, but to be able to walk on a set and know exactly what I can do and do it. It is really it gets to a point where I almost feel like I'm wasting something if I don't do something while I'm at the studio. Like it's something like that, you know? No, I appreciate that, guys. Thank you. Any thoughts on the Canon R8? Yeah, the R8 is interesting. So the Canon R8, let's talk about that for a second. It's the same price as the R7, but it's a less feature packed, but more sensor size, right? What I think people don't realize about the R8 is that it's a really great B cam for people that are already in the Canon cinema line. You're talking about cameras that are $5,000 or more, and this thing can match it image-wise. So if you're doing a multicam setup, you get 3 R8s and like, I don't know, a C70 as your main camera. You can do a multicam setup or give them to second shooters and the footage will match. Like, it's pretty rad. As an ecosystem, I like it. It's pretty scaled down to get to that price point. I just think Canon is a little confused with what an entry point to their system is. They've got discount RP, discount Canon R. They got the R50, which is like a little teacup camera, which could be a beginner camera. You got the R8 now, and then you have the R7, which is a crop sensor with a lot of features in it, but you have to be okay with having crop sensor. It's like, what do you do, right? It's just so much. I think Canon really needs to take a step back and have a vision for the system as a whole and start working towards that, because every camera has buttons in different places. I mean, it's just, I don't know what to recommend to who, because something is always a trade-off somewhere, but they have the ability to do some really amazing stuff. Beautiful image quality, a great build quality, a great ecosystem. I mean, Canon is 100 years old for a reason. Amazing support, stunning lenses. You know, it's just, I don't know. Please keep on at Gavin uses C stands correctly. Gavin 100% knows how to use a C stand. Gavin Hoey, a million times over. I promise you. It's just when you're doing something live, sometimes you're talking more than your hands are doing things, and you kind of lose place a little bit. It happens. It happens. Canon drove me crazy. Wait, what? Canon drove me crazy releasing a crop sensor cameras, but not having a good crop sensor lens line. Went with Fuji instead. Fuji absolutely has a deep APS-C ecosystem. You can't deny that. I mean, that's really what they are. XT5, we're talking about the 5th generation of just one of their lines of crop sensor. Yeah, of course they have the ecosystem. Canon is still in the beginnings of a crop sensor line. You're crazy. First of all, Damien, you're crazy by thinking they're going to put out 2 crop sensor cameras and an entire lens line. But no, it's RF mount, and you can use the full frame lenses if you want to. You're really kind of asking a lot of a company to release an entire lens line when they just introduced a crop sensor, you know? Sorry, a bit late to the live stream, but if you were making a video ecosystem around Nikon gear, what would your camera recommendations be for a student news organization? I think these questions always start with budget, because your budget's going to dictate everything, really. So I think, you know, you got to kind of look at that. I think there's, and I know I'm going to sound like a fanboy here, but I think the Z6 II is one of the best values in full frame on the market. I mean, you're talking well below $2,000 for the body, 2 card slots, CV Express Type B, as well as SD. So you got both memories in there. Great stabilization, great video functionality, readily available batteries. I mean, an incredible lens line, some of the best TTL for strobe out there. You know, I just think that it's what it's lacking from the other mid-range bodies like the Canon R6 II and the A7 IV. You're not paying $700-800 more for those features they might not even use. So that's why that's where I think about the Z6 II personally. All right. Anything else, guys? Oh man. Also, we're at we're at 78 likes and 120 viewers. If you can hit like, I'd really appreciate it. It helps out this channel. I am trying to feed it some more. I do have a video I'm working on coming up. I know I haven't been pumping out videos on this channel, but you guys have to realize I haven't even been home. Hey, Seth, glad you mentioned the Z6 II. Is there a perfect portrait lens to match? All right, let's talk about this. And you're going to hate everything I have to say about this. So the perfect portrait lens, you guys ready for this? I want everybody to type ready in the chat if they're ready for what the best portrait lens ever is. You guys ready? You guys ready? Type ready in the chat. And I want you to put your ear like really close to your listening device. Like just get it like you just, if you're watching on your phone, just go like this. Go, just go like that. All right, here we go. Oh, it seems like you guys are all ready. So the best portrait lens is the one that fits the shot you're trying to shoot. Okay? A portrait lens is going to give you a look to portray your subject. That could be anything from an 8mm fisheye all the way to a freaking 600mm f4. It has everything to do with what you're trying to pull out of your subject to put them into a 2D format the way you want them to see things. I like shooting certain lenses in certain situations, but I will never, in any circumstance, go, this lens is the best portrait lens, because I don't know who I'm portraying. Is it someone with a long face? Is it someone with a round face? Is it someone that I want to separate off a background? Or is it someone that I need to include their environment so that people understand what they're about? Is it someone that has an amazing style, so I need more of a full body shot? Or is it someone that I really want to get super tight on to show the scars and wrinkles on their faces so people know the life that they lived? Is there something unique about that person I need to hone in on that says more about them as a portrait than their face? Do you guys get what I'm saying here? So everything you need to do for a portrait lens starts with you and how you, the photographer, choose to portray that person. Because if you asked everyone in this chat room to shoot a portrait of the same person, we would absolutely all have an absolutely different, no matching and on earth type images coming out of all of us. There is no way. No way. So you really have to look at the properties of the glass you're looking at, like what it looks like, from something that might have a dreamlike soap bubble look to something that is hyper clinically sharp. Personally, I like to have my portraits sharper rather than softer because I want people to really feel like they're in front of them. But then the focal length could be all over the place. So it really, if you want to get an idea of what lenses you like to shoot with for portrait, shoot with a zoom lens and start realizing where you keep falling on the focal length on each person and why you're going there. You know, my friend L'Amour Supreme, I shot him with a wide angle lens because I wanted people to see his world and how like bananas he is from the way he lives and the way everything is around him. I mean, a wide angle portrait for L'Amour was different than a real tight portrait lens for Marissa. You know, that's really what it is. I'm trying to find a photo that I can show you this on. But do you guys get what I'm saying? Like there's no like, oh, this. So this is my buddy L'Amour Supreme, wide angle lens, but you get an idea that he lives in this colorful world in this crazy place with this awesome style, and he's just this dude, you know, instead of just his eyes and beard. So you really need to start with yourselves and realize what kind of shot you want to create. And I think what you can learn is what each lens is giving you. Yeah, thanks, Brad. I appreciate that. So really, it's, you know, that's really kind of, I'm sorry to like jump down your throat, but it drives me nuts when people ask that kind of stuff. I work with a Tamron 20 to 70 and the 85. It's hard to get used to. Well, a lot of trouble people get into when they're starting out shooting portraits is not committing to a lens. So what I mean by that is you keep swapping, thinking that somehow swapping the lens is going to somehow show you something that you've been looking for. But you kind of have to go, all right, I'm not seeing it. I'm not sure. So I'm sticking to this lens and I'm going to get what I want based on my position and my angle and my lighting. Try that. Try that. What do you think of Z? What do you think, Z? Wait, I'm not sure what you're asking, Sujita. I did buy the 85 millimeter 1.2. I did actually buy that lens. So I am 3 G's in the hole right now and it is hurting, but I'm hopefully going to generate some work to kind of cover that. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? I don't know. So we'll see what happens. But I had that lens gave me a look that I really, really want and one that I will definitely lean on more often than not. And I just felt like it was worth it. So I jumped in on that lens and I can't wait. A good training method I learned for getting into primes, just walk around with the lens and learning the focal length. Yeah, you have to get used to living in the space of the lens sometimes. You have to get into and it's not just the lens, it's the camera too. Why is my chair shrinking? It's you have to get into the space of the tool you're using. For example, my X100V, my Fujifilm X100V, I keep it in black and white. And I'm always seeing in black and white with this wider focal length because I know what I'm trying to see with this camera when I'm shooting with it. My Nikon has different colors than my Fuji. My Fujifilm GFX, I see things differently, and I know I'm going to pick up that camera based on the way that camera and the lens renders. It's not just, oh, it's a bigger sensor, so it's got to be better. More resolution means yay. doesn't always mean that. It doesn't. And sometimes I don't want a lot of resolution. Sometimes I want to lose detail and get more of an analog type look to things, and I'll use plastic lenses with some lower res bodies. I'll use a Z6 II with some kind of plastic lens to kind of give me that look I want sometimes because I want it, you know? So it's like you have to pick the project. You know, if you go, man, I'm gonna replace the faucet on this sink, and you just pick up a hammer because that's the tool you have, or you go, I have a hammer, maybe there's something else I can fix with this thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way. And you know, guys like Gary Hughes, you know, we all say we pick up the camera last if we're setting up a shot. Well, it also goes for if I'm walking around with that camera, I'm picking my shots based on that camera, or I'm working with what I have in my hands to get me to a place that I want to see. Does that make sense to you guys? I want to purchase a Nikon camera for studio work. Should I purchase a D850 or a Z7? The D850 is going to get lower and lower in cost, and you can definitely get some used D850s relatively inexpensive right now. Um, I think that camera will be a great. I mean, I still have mine. Where is it? Is it right here? I mean, this is my D850. I'm never selling this thing. This will be my last DSLR. Will be my 850. It'll always be a great camera. I think the Z7, you're going to constantly see improvements on that camera. And I would just, you also have to choose if you're going to be doing studio work, optical makes more sense because you're not shooting the exposure you're looking at, right? If you're shooting strobe, you're shooting theoretical light. Having optical means in lower light when you're working, it's just glass. It's not a screen trying to render light that isn't there. So I kind of am leaning towards the D850. You'll probably find a good deal on one, and it's just it's a legacy camera, man. I dig it. You know, to your point, the problem with people wanting to be told what perfect portrait lens is, people will conform their shots to the lens instead of picking the lens for the shot. Yeah, I think there's a skill to that as well. So if I had a 35 millimeter lens on this and I had to shoot some portraits, I'd have to figure out a way to do that, right? So I would have to tailor myself. Hey, listen, they asked me to do a 1 minute video in a few minutes for that Sigma 17 millimeter f4 for S5 II with the Lumix S5 II. So I shot the girl's shoes in my lens, you know? I mean, that's just, you use the property of the lens to optimize it. Instead of fighting the gear and fighting the situation and getting to a okay point, you kind of want to just, what do I have with me and what works with what optimizes what's in front of me right now? And you'll get a better result. Maybe not the one you had in your head, but you'll get a better result. What was the last film camera you ever used? I have an F6 back there. Oh, that's an F100. This is an F100. This is an F100 right here. See, film. And my F6 is over here. F6 with a 105 macro on it. So now I'm swimming in cameras. But F6, can you see the F6? Can you see the F6? No? F6. Sometimes, I'll be honest with you, not too much. As much as people want to make you think that people are requesting film like crazy, and then you tell them a price and a time frame, and they're like, I don't really need it. Not in my world. Like the commercial stuff, you have to kind of pitch the campaign. Like if you go to somebody and be like, hey, what if we shot on film to have it this look? They have to go into it already knowing that, and I'm not on that client type list, you know? So, and not for nothing, like it definitely is a cost to it, you know? And also I do run into some art directors that just don't feel comfortable not seeing the images in real time while you're working with them. So, but hey, but then there's people that are like wedding clients that are like, yeah, I'd like some shot on color and some on black and white if we can. And that's civilians just wanting film. Okay, cool. I mean, but I'm not shooting weddings, you know? I hope we get more resources for film out there. Pentax has the film project. Kodak is supplying a lot of film to the actual film industry. HBO is shot almost all on film right now. Succession, that's on tonight, is shot on film. 10-minute mags. Unbelievable. By the way, what camera equipment are you using to shoot this feed? This is a Nikon Z6 I with a 35 millimeter f1.8. But I have it set to like very strict on my face. So it's like the autofocus is probably just always looking for me. Let me put some of these cameras down because I am like, some of these cameras down, guys. All right. Now I got cameras all over the floor. So there's that. Man, I don't know what to make of this live stream, guys. I just really had to get out of my head what that dude was saying on his channel, and then the comments, and then the other channels that were saying stuff. And there's also channels that just live for hate, you know? I mean, literally live for just hating on brands and what they've done. And meanwhile, they don't have a scrap of work to show. Not one. There are some channels that I see trashing brands and acting like they know what they're talking about. And I'm yet to see one shot from those guys. Not one. Not one. Not one. I'm not naming specific channels, but it's just I don't want to hate on creators. Look, Adorama is great no matter what. I believe in that, and I am not here to hate on other creators. I know I was like out for blood in the beginning of the years ago, but I'm over it, you know. So thanks. Hey Hans, what's up, man? How are you? Hope you're well, buddy. Didn't you just pick something up? Was that you? I feel like you just bought something. Would you buy a D850? No, I already own one. I have one that's been through war and around this world. I'm good. Some men just want to watch the world burn. No, some men just want to have something to complain about because that's all they can do. It's easy to complain. It's hard to comprehend. Think about that. It's hard to comprehend what a brand was thinking, why they made it like this, why this exists, who would use it, what applications, and actually, I don't know, do and perform those applications, because sometimes you have to act like an actual photographer if you're going to talk about camera gear, or sometimes you have no work to show and you just complain about stuff because you can't do anything else logically or have a thought in your head beyond that. You know? Oh, you got a C3. That's cool, man. C3, that's cool. I have a 645D over there somewhere. It's locked in a case. Did I ever pull out my Mamiya on this channel? I have a Pentax 672 over there also, but I was modifying the back and I never finished it. You know. Anyway, guys, I know this channel hasn't been that active, so I just want to say thank you guys for being part of it and jumping in here. Thank you guys to everybody that's been in the Discord. If you haven't, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Check out some of my work, and I mean decades of work on there. Stuff like that. Actually, I rarely shot fashion. I shoot a lot of portrait, a lot of commercial makeup, a lot of stuff I've shot. You wouldn't even know I shot it. It's like tabletop or product or e-commerce or just stuff to keep my studio going. The work you guys see is just kind of the stuff I think is worth putting out there to everybody. It's not just a clean shot. Has an entertainment value to it to some reason, you know? No, I appreciate that, David. Listen, I appreciate that. I'm just going to highlight this one. I appreciate that, but I think you guys have to realize what this is. If I don't have 1 million subscribers and constantly coming up on searches, I don't exist the way some other people do. And those people have a lot of pull because they are constantly looking like a voice in this industry when they're really just someone that the brands are treating as a formality to get through, that they have to kind of placate to a little bit and then they get back to business. I'm not one of those people. They come to me and they're actually like psyched to share things with me. I love being friends with the people at the brands. They really listen to the insight when you're on a good rapport with them, and then you start seeing things happen. Thanks, James. I appreciate that. Thank you. I really take this as, I don't want to say like an honor, but I really do feel very grateful and privileged that I get to do stuff like this. And I work hard to make sure that it's worth it for me to do this stuff. So like when they give me something to review or go over the insights or negotiate and negotiate the specs for you guys, like make sense of it all for you guys. They feel like I'm a good candidate to relay what's going on. It's not that I'm sucking up to brands. It's not that I'm only talking about the good stuff. It's that they did good stuff. And you guys should actually be aware of why they did it, what's going on here, how to apply it. It's really hard to hate on something these days. It really is. It's almost a talent that these guys have to hate on things. But that hate makes them somebody. I'm just a guy that behind the scenes, I I would like to think I have credibility, and that means a lot to me. Sometimes you just don't feel like you have a voice out there to the masses, and it's tough. It's tough, but I get to do the next video, right? I get to shoot the next camera, right? I get to check out that next lens, shoot that next light. I get to have Cliff Hausner calling my phone, get to go on Joe McNally's set, right? I get to go on stage to 700 people and shoot live in front of 700 people, drop my MacBook in front of them, but I do get to shoot live in front of them. It's unbelievable sometimes when you look back at the year and you go, wow, that all just happened. I got to go to Tokyo and get hand poke tattooed for the GFX video. If you guys haven't seen that video, I got to find the link to that, actually. Let me see if I can find the link to that. If you guys get a chance to check this video out, I would appreciate it. Adorama. Let me see if I can find it. Adorama, Tokyo. Let me see if I can find it. Yep, here it is. So this was me getting hand poke tattooed for the original GFX. The original GFX. I'm shooting while this dude is stabbing me. So this was a very cool video. If you guys get a chance, please take a look at it and drop a like and a comment on it. Share. I feel like this video went nowhere. It was such a shame. But I mean, it was one of the coolest things I ever did in my life. I swear, without a doubt. I got one of 20 cameras that existed in the world to shoot myself getting hand poke tattooed in Tokyo. And then I got to shoot this guy's portrait, which was like just awesome. Look at the resolution on this thing. Unbelievable. Yeah, I'm going to link it. But it was, oh, you guys want to see the portrait? The portrait was cool. So I shot, where's the hero portrait? When I have both eyes closed, that's how you know I'm not sure of a camera. If I'm shooting with both eyes closed, come on, get to the hero portrait. There it is. This is the hero, not this one. No, this one. That's the hero portrait. I was psyched on this portrait. It was great. Anyway, let me link you guys out. Copy. Here you go. Check that one out. That was a long time ago. That was 2019. But it was one of these things I got to do because of where I'm at. And I can't, I can't be more thankful than that. And then I love that every day is crazy. I love that every day is just weird and nuts. Yeah, I'm happy with the tattoo now. It's very bright. Very, very bright. Before you go, I have a 13-inch MacBook Pro. What image capture program to go with it? Capture One or Lightroom? Listen, I'm always going to say Capture One. First of all, I think it does one of the best jobs of interpreting raw files correctly and more in depth. 2, it's getting easier and easier to use every time. You can fully customize it however you want interface-wise. 3, it is industry standard at any studio. If you assist anyone in this industry, you're going to need to know Capture One. Lightroom will always be there, sure, but Capture One is really like, I really like Capture One a lot. I like the people at Capture One. And I think that they've been doing a great job over there. And for tethering, it's made for it. So, yeah. If you are nobody, the brands want to trust you. No, listen, it's not the brands don't trust me, and I like that the brands know me and stuff like that. But like as in my own brand, I'm just the guy that gets to shoot, guys. And and it's because of you guys. So thank you so much for giving me a platform and giving me your time. You could be spending this time anywhere. You could be going on anybody's channel. And I'm glad that whatever I'm doing seems like it's worthwhile to you guys. Listen, last call for questions because we are at an hour and a half and no one's going to watch this on playback. Nobody. So this is for you guys. Trust me. Let me know if there's anything I can help you out with. If there's something I can answer right now. Check out our videos from NAB on Adorama TV. Me and Fernando went all over the floor. We have like a bunch of shorts, 1 minute videos on new product. We have full day recaps on that channel. And we checked out Cine Central, where Adorama actually got to do hands on training with young filmmakers to get them ready for the game. So check out all that stuff on Adorama TV, please. We appreciate it. And you guys watching those videos, hitting like and commenting on those videos shows the channel that we should be doing more of these. All right. Does Capture One let images stay on Nikon, keep images in camera? So I can do that with my Z9. On this channel, Cooley, if you go to my shorts, I show you how to make your Nikon accessible to shoot backup on your memory card and on hard drive. So check out the short on this channel that does that. That's the last one I put up at the time of recording this video. So just check out that short video. Thanks for watching, Melanie. We appreciate it. Please, it's our pleasure. I mean, going to NAB is so much fun. It's hectic. It's a lot of work, but I don't know how to explain this. It feels like a constant family reunion when you go to these shows. You know, you go like, "Hey, Victor from Fuji, what's up, man?" And you get to see everybody. "Hey, it's Drew from Canon. Hey, what's going on?" Like, it's just really cool to like. You can tell all the brands are in their like suits and super, with the CEOs and stuff. And then we come by, it's like, "Yo, man, what's up? Do you see this thing we're doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's up, bro?" You know. By the way, if anyone hates the YouTube Shorts interface, you can rewrite the link as a normal watch structure. Oh, I didn't know that. Any expos happening this year in New York? Not that I know of. I'm going to try to get to Comic-Con this year. I don't think I'm going to get a press pass this year because I don't have anything to get a press pass with this year. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, check Capture One out. Capture One has a 30-day free trial. So if you're not sure, give it 30 days, see what's up. But don't just give it 30 days. Watch their YouTube videos. See what it can really do. See how to get the best out of it. You can move everything around, completely change the interface however you want. It's awesome, dude. It's awesome. So check that out. All right, guys. It is hitting the hour-and-a-half mark. Last call for questions. Last call. What's up? Whew, man. I'm going to crash tonight. I got to be on set tomorrow. I only have like a few makeups to shoot tomorrow. It's not that big of a day, but hey, that's what we do. I think so. I think Capture One definitely has masking. That's for sure. Definitely. Is there a big difference between Lightroom and Capture One for tethering? Yes. Capture One, while Lightroom has come a long way, Capture One has absolutely been faster on the tether and has been ready day one to tether with new cameras. I can't say that about other software, but Capture One makes sure to get in with the brands, and at the time of launch, your Capture One is ready to recognize a camera for tethering. So I love Capture One. Yeah, learning Capture One is absolutely a necessary software if you want to work as an assistant or a tech in any commercial studio, especially in New York. I just cut my leg. Damn it. So there's this show on a set time like Grace. No, it's I just had to rant. I just had something on my head. And so long story short, no, this industry isn't dead. Those channels might be dying because they didn't get their act together. That's all. All right. Yeah, Anthony, I'm with you on that. Capture One was made initially by Phase One, $50,000 camera company. Phase One designed this thing. Now they're their own independent company, but that's how high up it was, I don't know enough about Lumineer, honestly. I'll be honest with you. I don't. I only use Capture One mainly for everything. I don't retouch much, guys. So I have Photoshop as a failsafe if I need it, but I'm basically all Capture One. And now I'm all DaVinci for video. Oh, Brandon's cool people. All right, guys, I'm going to call it there. Thank you guys so much for joining me. This flew. Wow, an hour and a half flew. Check me out at Last X Witness on all social. I think I put my social somewhere over here. Check out all the links down below. Please join the Discord. If you guys want to be part of a community that's not toxic, you can share work, troubleshoot things you're having problems with, and I'm in there. So join my Discord. I'll put the link right here. If you're watching this on playback, the link is in the description. If you guys want to support this channel, the Buy Me a Coffee link is your best way to support this channel. It takes the less percentage of whatever. But again, don't feel obligated to throw any money towards here. But any support always is a big help. And the best support I can ask of you is sharing the videos around. This channel is in a little bubble and no one finds it. So sharing the video in all your photo nerd groups really helps out, and hitting subscribe so that we can get this number up really helps out as well. Check out my work on Instagram. Join me live here on YouTube or sometimes Twitch, and check out my Twitter for just random stuff off the top of my head. Guys, thank you so much for spending time with me. Let's go. We're all going to go watch Succession on HBO right now anyway. Let's be honest, right? All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully I will see you guys in the Discord, and listen, go easy on each other. It's hard enough. Go easy on each other and just use your head when you're watching videos out there. Use your head. Don't take things face value. Really think about what's going on and watch a few different opinions on something, okay? All right, guys. Whew. Thank you guys so much. I will see you next time. Later. Oh no, see, I ruined my own thing. You see this? Ruined it. All right. That was supposed to be cool, and now it's not cool.